What's up, people? I am back, and I know it's a little early to do this video because the year's not over yet. We still got another month, but I don't. I'll probably when I do a video in December, and if I see a new movie and if it's bad enough, I might add it to the list, and say in that video. But for right now, this is my top 15 worst movies of 2025. And I know it's early, like I said, but I had this on my mind, and I feel like we're in November now. We're a couple, pretty much getting close to Thanksgiving. So I figure we're getting close to the end of the year anyway. I'm not going to do my best movies yet. I'll probably save that one for when we get closer to the end of the year. Because I do think there could be some I could add to the list. Like, you got Sisu 2 coming. You got Fackamholics. That could be a good comedy, so I might add that to the list. You got I don't know if it'll be good, but Five Nights at Freddy's, who knows? Maybe that can be a good a horror movie this year. So we'll see where that goes. So I'll probably wait out and we'll do that one in December. But the worst one, I might as well just get it out now because I feel like there's been a lot of bad this year. I'm gonna be real with you. Last year, I didn't think I had as much bad compared to this year. There was good stuff this year, so I'm not gonna sit here and say I kind of got a list in my head of the best stuff of 2025, but definitely there's just been some really bad shit, and it's just been slop, and they're all for different reasons, you know. So, but my number 15 is the new I Know What You Did Last Summer. It is bad, but I feel like the issue with this movie really is fundamentally this didn't need to be made. I Know What You Did Last Summer was one of its time. Let's just leave it to those first two movies and then be done with it. It was of its time. It didn't catch on like Scream did. Scream, you had Sydney, who, I'm just gonna say it, is a better character than I love Julie. I love Sydney Prest. I mean, blah. I love Jennifer Love Hewitt, but Julie is a boring character. She got a little bit better, and I still know, but it didn't make me I want to see more of her. The only thing that'd make me want to see more of her, it's just because I get to see more hot Jennifer Love Hewitt. But outside of those reasons, it doesn't warrant coming back, especially 20 something years later, when and now it retroactively, because the whole reveal is that Ray was one of the killers. Why? Now I kind of understand, why Wes Craven never made one of the main three killers the killer, because it retroactively does ruin the other movies. Because me and my friends, we watched this one together, and then we watched the original a couple days later, and all we were doing was just memeing oh, Ray, just wait 28 years, he's gonna be the killer. It's you retroactively do kind of ruin the first movie when you do make that decision. Oh, but it's bold and it's different. No, there's a reason why Wes never went that route, because you do retroactively ruin these characters, and it ruins rewatches, because when all we were doing was just memeing about Ray being the killer in 28 years when we were watching the first one, and then even in the second one, it's just guys, you made the wrong choice. Jennifer Love Hewitt was wasted. The Sarah Michelle Gellar cameo wasn't needed. I'll admit it was cool seeing her again, but it wasn't really needed. It was a pointless dream scene. The accident did not hit as much. The kills didn't work. It was just a lot wrong with this. Know What You... And then the ending is stupid as fuck. The characters are not likable. It's a forgettable movie. It's gonna be forgotten about. There was no need to bring I Know What You Did Last Summer back, because I think they saw how well Scream did. As much as I don't like Scream 5 did well, and I think even Scream 6 did well. So they were you know what? Let's try to cash in on that. But I'm just they need to realize I Know What You Did Last Summer just did not catch on like Scream did. There are people who watch the original, but it's not like this classic like Scream is. It just isn't. It's a fine movie, but it's not like some incredible classic. It's very much like, it's an okay movie. It's an okay slasher. It's an okay slasher. It's nothing crazy. Whereas I feel like Scream obviously is just on a different level, and even something like Urban Legend or the Faculty, even though that's not a slasher, but like the Faculty, there was just better kind of horror, even in that same kind of teen slasher genre at the same time. I'm gonna say it. Urban Legend even is a better movie. It just is. Like, I think there's better ones. So I Know What You Did Last Summer. That was not good. So that's my number 15. Number 14 is fucking Captain African American 4, or Captain America Brave New World. This movie was terrible. I didn't plan on watching this. I was just watching this with some buddies. It is fucking terrible. Sam Wilson did not need to be Captain America. I never liked it. I never liked it in the comics. I don't even like Bucky being Captain America in the comics. To me, Cap is Steve Rogers. And then meshing it, this felt like a Hulk movie. Why is Red Hulk in the movie? The memeable scenes where me and my friends were just laughing about, like, almost being like Palpatine, like the give in to your anger scene. The Red Hulk stuff was just laughable. The plot was all over the place. The action wasn't even that great. It was just... Marvel's had a bad year. Like, I didn't see Thunderbolts, and it just looks like something I'd hate. And then this movie was just trash. Fantastic Four was okay, but that, I think, is part of it is because it's not connected to the current MCU. So I think it has that, like, effect of it's protected but not being in the MCU. Yeah, this movie just was all over the place, too. Like, I just did not like, you had so many different plot lines. The fact that this is a glorified Hulk movie, like, you could throw Hulk in this movie and it would probably make more sense. Because nothing really feels truly Captain America. Why is Giancarlo Esposito in the movie? He has, like, a random cameo. Well, he's, like, part of this, like, secret Hydra group or whatever. But then he doesn't actually do anything. And then the leader, who actually looks way better in the comics, is just wasted here. He's just kind of wasted here. It's like, everything about this movie is just all over the place, and the fight with Cap and Red Hulk in the end is so fucking stupid. It's a redundant fight, and it makes no sense how he's able to survive these punches. Even the wings, I don't really think should be able to withstand Hulk punches, but whatever. It's just so much wrong with this movie. But yeah, I call it Captain African American 4. I've seen some other people call it that. That's what it is. Sorry, Sam Wilson's not Captain America. He just isn't. But my number 13 now is him. This is a movie that was produced by the people of Jordan Peele and his people. This movie sucked. This movie was everything wrong with modern horror. One, they think what makes a horror movie is just trippy imagery and weird imagery. That's not horror, guys. You're just showing trippy imagery just to show trippy imagery. The trippy imagery needs to actually make sense to the plot. In this movie, it's just random shit. It just comes off like almost like an amateur's director trying to do a horror movie. It really does. It doesn't make any sense, like, literally plot-wise. I couldn't even really explain to you the plot. The only thing I know is, like, there's a satanic cult, and the main character joins so he can basically, it's like he signs a deal with the devil almost to, like, be successful. It's that kind of shit. secret society. It's so dumb. Hold on. Like, the main character isn't even really a character. He feels like he's just like, I just thought about this. He's like a stand-in for like what you're seeing with this whole crazy cult. That's all it is. That's what he feels like to me. He's more like a vessel of like a stand-in, like I said, of what's going on. He's not an actual character. He has no real personality. The only positive I can say is Mark is Marlon Wayans does put on a really good performance. I feel like he is probably the best thing in this movie, but I don't think you get enough of him, and I feel like because material's so thin and there's like practically nothing there, it's really hard to give him even kind of credit for this movie, because yeah, he puts on a good performance, but I feel like it's for nothing because the plot's for nothing. And the ending is kind of a big fuck you too. It has a very fuck you feeling to me when I watched them. Like when I was done, like really, that was it. The only positive is it wasn't too long, but trippy imagery does not make a horror movie. Like, it's so just lazy in that. That's my number 13. My number 12, and I know shockingly I have this low, but it's more just because there was worse shit and objectively, and that's the only reason I have this a little bit low. I really did want to have this a little higher, but just considering everything else that I have higher, it makes sense I have to keep this a little low. So my number 12 is Predator Badlands. I'm not going to go too into this since I did a whole video a couple weeks ago. This movie sucks. It is a bad Predator movie. I think it's just a bad movie in general. I'm so done with this style of movie. We have to always have a shitty alien companion because Baby Yoda, so you have to have a shitty baby companion insert thing here. And then it was a Marvel movie, man. With Ellie Fanning being in the movie, the whole kind of fun romp thing, that's not what Predator is supposed to be. Dex sucks as a Predator. I hate the design. Why was Wayland in the movie? It was so stupid. The action scenes were not that great. I was kind of bored at times, and I don't know, man. This was not good. So that's why I'm not going to go too into it. I already did a whole video on this, so I'm just going to keep this one short. My number 11 is, I have this lower, but this one is definitely probably my most disappointing, or one of my more disappointing of the year. If I did most disappointing, this would be way higher. Love Hurts let's say the actor for Short Round. This movie, I really thought it was gonna be fun, man. I liked the trailers, and it looked like it was gonna be a fun little martial arts movie, and unfortunately, it starts off kind of entertaining. You have some good fight scenes. That opening fight scene where he's at his house and Marshawn Lynch and the other guy are there, I thought that was good, and then the rest of the movie just doesn't deliver. It gets kind of boring. I feel like a lot of the rest of the action scenes just kind of become generic action scenes. I was hoping this was going to be like an R-rated Jackie Chan movie, which I saw someone else say. I kind of agree with that take. I really should have been like an R-rated Jackie Chan movie, and I was hoping for more creative fights, and then there's like a random side plot with one of the assassins trying to kill him because he falls in love with one of the girls that Short Round's working with, and it's just like, why? It was dumb. I was wanting way more from this film, and it just, yeah, it's fucking, I won't say it's shit, and probably of the movies I have on my list, actually objectively, it is probably the least bad. It's more disappointing than just straight up bad, but I had to put this on this list just because. That's why I have it at like 11. because it's not the worst movie. It's just it had more potential, and I think that's also why it's on here, because it had more potential on what it could have been, and I think that's another reason I have it a little lower. It's just it missed the mark, man. This should have been good. This should have been a fun little R-rated Jackie Chan movie. Like that is the perfect description of what this should have been, and I think we didn't get that. So that's my number 11. Number 10. Now we're in the top 10 territory now. Number 10 is fucking War of the Worlds. War of the Worlds. I have it a little bit lower because at least there's almost a fun bad factor to it. So I do have that aspect about it. But man, this movie is just the fact that it's Amazon saves the day, like my review says. It really is that. Where the main issue with this movie really is like there's a bunch of them. Like it's just one. Ice Cube's just not a. Sorry about that. That's embarrassing. I just think Ice Cube is not a likable character. He really isn't. He stalks his kids. He doesn't really do his job. And the fact that it's an alien invasion and somehow the internet still works is wild to me. Because and the whole thing is they want data. If they want our data, internet's data, realistically, they would take all that shit away. The internet would be gone. And somehow Amazon Prime still delivers shit. I'm not kidding you. There's a whole plot where they need like an Amazon drone and they use it and to deliver like a chip, or like a flash drive, sorry. And you actually see him order it on Amazon. Like they actually go to the fucking site. It's like insane. Sorry about that. That's fucking embarrassing. They actually do that, man. They actually order something from Amazon. Like, what the fuck? Like, why? Like, and the fact that they said Amazon didn't make us do that, it's like, that's bullshit, man. You're telling me Amazon did not tell you to put Amazon product placement in the movie? Sure. And your movie happened to release on Amazon. All right, man. All right, cool. It is one of the worst. It's arguably one of the worst movies ever made. Like, it has an argument. There's so many scenes where you could tell it's green screen. I think there's even one scene where you could see the green screen in Ice Cube's glasses in one shot. It's like, what the fuck? And they always have to find some convenient reason why he can't leave the fucking room. It's like, but it's so absurd in how bad it is. That's why I think I have it a little bit lower, because yeah, objectively it probably should be way higher, but it is definitely funny bad for me. Like, I just like laugh at how absurd that whole movie is, and how the Amazon, like, it's not even product placement, because product placement I think is like, you're putting it lightly. This is a straight up ad for Amazon. Like, this is where you're just an ad, not even just product placement. Like, but yeah, that's my number 10. My number 9 is gonna be Strangers Chapter 2. This is gonna be one I actually just watched. I watched this one yesterday for the first time. I watched it with a friend, and my god, man, it is fucking terrible. It's worse than the first one. I never reviewed the first Stranger, not the first, but I think I reviewed the original, but not Chapter 1. I don't think I reviewed that one. That one was terrible too. This one's worse. They somehow made it worse. I do not know how you can get worse than Strangers Chapter 1. But they somehow fucking did it. I do not know how they got away with it. And like, I do not know how they were able to get away with it. Like, this movie is just the girl who survived in the end of the first one, or first chapter. It is literally just her running to a place. The strangers come after her, and the people she runs into, I am not kidding you, are just there to get killed. They have like 2 lines: get killed, and then she runs away, die, get killed, run away. She runs into a group of people. They all of a sudden do this like mystery thing where they make you think one of them's the fucking strangers just without the mask. And they throw in an origin story for the doll face one. They randomly give her an origin story where her origin is, oh, they kicked I'm not kidding you. One girl kicked her sand castle down. So all of a sudden she just wants to kill her. So she ends up killing her. And then the other guy watches and he likes it, so he becomes like her partner. And it's like just thrown in there for no fucking reason besides to pad the time. And there's so many things too where they're padding the time, like so many scenes where she's doing something but they're drawing it out, like clearly drawing it out. It's like she'll do something super slowly. It's like, what the fuck? Why are you doing this so slowly? In universe, this makes no sense, but they're clearly doing it because they're just padding the time, because there's not enough. That's why they added the random origin story in there, because they knew they didn't have enough material with the girl just fucking running the whole, because that's basically what it is. And there's a way to do movies where someone's on the run the whole film, but you gotta have side characters. There's like no side characters in this movie. There's a group of people that pick her up, but then she starts thinking they're the killer, and then she runs into him again, and then all of a sudden, yeah, the strangers break in and kill him. So most of them are dead. So they're just there to get introduced to get killed. They're not real characters. Like, it's like so rapid. Like, there's a lady, she's trying to get on the phone. I think it's like the lady who owns the phone is like, what the fuck are you doing? And then she just gets like skewered. And then like she breaks in a house, which is like a crime scene. And then like a cop's still there. He tries to take her out of take her away from danger. He's about to get in his car, killed with a crossbow. It's like, what the fuck? What is it? He literally had like 2 lines, crossbow to the face. It's like, wow, dude. I'm okay with every now and then doing horror movies where the body count isn't always of character, because there's most horror movies, right? The body count is gonna be the friends usually, and maybe one random person of like the main character. In this movie, it's just all randoms. There's a way to make that work, but it's so rapid fire. Like, it's so like, oh, you just meet this guy, he's dead. It's like, that is not, no. It gets to a point, like, why even introduce these characters if they're just gonna get fucking killed in 2 seconds? Oh, and the strangers are just not intimidating anymore. You know how creepy they were in that original 2008 movie? Like, you felt uneasy when they were on screen. I'll admit, I didn't see Prey at Night, and I don't really plan on to. I heard it was decent, but I never liked the idea of Strangers having a sequel, and in my mind, it's a one-off. It's a one-off story. In my mind, Liv Tyler dies, and there's no survivors. I think it works better that way. It never needed a sequel. I feel like you left it fine with a one-off, and then you did a sequel, and then you made these remakes, and they're just fucking shit. And then this one also ends in like a to be continued, like that last one, because they're doing it in chapters, so we got to do a fucking cliffhanger ending twice. And the cliffhanger of this one is basically the doll face girl getting killed, and you see her mask come off, and her brother or lover, they don't explain it really, finds her, and then the girl escapes in a car. That is basically the ending. So she gets away again. So I'm like, what? So you can tease another chapter. And it's like, we didn't need another movie. We never needed these movies. You made The Strangers not scary. It got to a point, there was like one scene when the main stranger guy showed up. I was like, hey, what's up, man? He's not scary. That's when you know he's not scary. When I'm like, what's up, man? In the original 08 movie, they were fucking scary. You were actually, you felt uneasy that, cause your home is so fucking scary. And they tried that scene again in chapter 1, but it was because you were here, and it just did not hit the same. It's like, oh, okay, nah. Because your home just hits better. It is eerie. You don't get that about, like, when I'm just like, what's up, man? Like, it's just like I'm talking to just a normal friend. That's when you know they're not scary. It's really insane how, shit, sorry about that. There you go. It was just like, why even do that? Like, this whole these two movies are some of the most pointless movies I've ever seen. It's like Taken 2, and 3. They weren't needed. It was unneeded sequels in these movies. I'm even including Prey at Night, even though I've not seen it. I believe that was unnecessary too. We didn't need a follow-up to the first Strangers. That should have just been a one-off scary fucking tale movie. That's all that needed to be. So I'm leaving it at that. So that's my number 9. Number 8 is, this is another Amazon movie with starring John Cena and Idris Elba, Heads of State. This came out back in July on Amazon, and I watched this with some friends. It was not good. It started off fine. I think I was hoping it was just, even though I knew it wasn't going to be great, I was hoping this was just going to be some dumb fun buddy cop movie with Cena and Idris Elba. And it wasn't even that. One, I felt like they didn't really lean into their chemistry like they should have. Because even though I did not like The Suicide Squad, the one positive I can give with Cena in that movie, because I didn't really like him as Peacemaker even in that movie, I did like his scenes with Idris. And I really feel like they could have leaned into that more with their chemistry, and they did not do that in this movie. It feels like they dialed it back. I feel like I don't know. I don't know if it was the directing. I don't know if it was both Idris and Cena knew the script sucked, so they just kind of phoned it in. I don't know. It was like they didn't really lean into the chemistry like I thought they were. And then Priyanka Chopra, the girl that was with them, was not needed. She's not a good actress. I find she's just boring, and she just kind of ruined the chemistry. I think if it was just them two, and then maybe she's in a couple of scenes, I think it could have worked. But when you have her be part of, and then we get the reveal, oh, she was with Idris at one point. It's like, oh, the villains suck too. It was just, this was just everything wrong. This just feels like AI made too. It was very AI felt plot, like just generic bad guy, generic leads, generic everything. It just was, like it really was like a by committee movie. That's why I have it on the list. Like, realistically, it probably could be lower, but it deserves to be higher up just because it really does just feel like by committee. You know, like, it really feels like we really just string this together. Like, it's ChatGPT. It feels like a ChatGPT plot. That's the word I was thinking of, like ChatGPT plot. It really feels like that. It just, I don't know. I'm not saying I expected more from this movie, but I was hoping it was just gonna be dumb fun. I was hoping it was just gonna be that, not some like just boring ChatGPT felt plot. Speaking of ChatGPT, that is my, actually no. Actually no, they can apply to both my number 7 and number 6, honestly. Number 7 is Tron Ares. Tron Ares, I'll admit I'm not the biggest Tron fan, but I did like the original 82 Tron, and then I did like Tron Legacy. And I did like the story with Sam Flynn, eventually, initially he wanted to run away and not take his father's legacy, but then he eventually does. And in this movie, they just throw that all away and they just do it in a quick, like, opening where, oh, no, he ran away. And then we don't even explain what happens to him. He's just gone. We try to make Jared Leto the lead, and I'll admit, to be honest with you, I know he was like the face of the failure of this movie, and a lot of people do try to attribute it to him, but I don't think that's not necessarily not fair, because I'm not trying to defend him or anything, because I think he's terrible in most things. He is not the problem here. I think the plot just is. It's very ChatGPT felt plot. The actor who played he was in Dahmer, he was Quicksilver, Evan Peters, he was wasted. I feel like you just made him a douchey tech bro. That's all he really was. He was a douchey tech bro villain, and it just, I don't know why they did this. He didn't, I feel like for a movie like this, he should not have been the villain. And then the fucking light cycles, I like the idea of the light cycles being brought to the real world, but I don't think they did it well. And it was just a chase movie, and it was just a boring chase movie. None of the action hit, the music didn't hit, and I was hoping Nine Inch Nails was gonna have a decent score, but they just didn't. The score was just bad. It was very, like, basic. Yeah, it was just a basic movie. It was, even the world just didn't, granted, I'll admit I didn't see it in theaters, but I still could tell the world just looked generic. And Jeff Bridges' cameo just felt like by obligation, just because we gotta have Jeff Bridges in the movie for a quick cameo. It really just felt like such a tacked on, because he really didn't need to be in the movie, if you're being honest. Member berries, so that's why, like, it really felt like member berries. It was straight up member berries. It's like, we gotta have him in the movie because member Jeff Bridges, yeah, it's not good. It's fucking dog shit. Yeah, that's my number 7. My number 6, this is also very ChatGPT plot, Until Dawn. Nothing like the game. If you know the game, it was already kind of a movie anyway, so this was such a redundant movie because it was already kind of a movie anyway. You just made certain choices, but it was basically a movie. So why did they feel like they had to make a live action one? And you don't even get the cast, who are still around, by the way, from the game. You waste Peter Stormare. He wasn't even the same character. He was just like a different character. The use of the Groundhog Day concept, I thought was terrible. A lot of just predictable horror tropes. It has all the just basic horror. It's literally just basic, generic horror tropes that I've just seen. And that's all I was thinking when I was watching this. The leads are generic. The plot's generic. The reveal's generic. There's one scene where they drink water and they just explode. I'll admit that scene was funny, but that was unintentionally funny. You could tell that wasn't meant to be, like, hilarious, but it was unintentionally hilarious. I'll admit, me and my friends were dying when we were watching this movie and that scene. But outside of that, it was just not a good movie. You wasted Peter Stormare, who's actually a really good actor, by the way. And I felt like you didn't even use him well. I don't know. There was so much more they could have did with this movie. I honestly don't think they even needed to do this movie, honestly. The game's already a movie. And I know it only came out back in 2014, but it does not need a live action take on it. And also the cast is actual actors. They just mocapped basically, but they essentially had a lot of actual actors play the role were in the game. So I don't understand why you felt the need to make it live action, really. And if you're going to just get the cast from the game, you can make it almost a pseudo sequel even. I don't know. It's fucking stupid. That's my number 6. We are now getting in a top 5 territory. This is like the worst of the worst. My number 5 is Dracula. This is a movie that technically isn't out in the US yet, but it's on the seas, that I got let know because one of my friends told me that this was a thing and we watched it together. It is bad. The actor they got to be Dracula isn't that good. It's like Dracula some love tale or some shit. I don't know. It was boring. It was just a bunch of random shit. I was hoping this was going to be good, but it was directed by Luc Besson, and Luc Besson he fucking shit the pooch, man. The actor just was not imposing at all, and I think any actor, when you play Dracula, should be imposing. Even the Dracula in Van Helsing was way more imposing than this actor. Even the one from Blade Trinity was more imposing than this actor. And I'm not kidding you, there are karate wrestling gargoyles that are in this movie. I'm not kidding you when I say that. Karate gargoyle karate gargoyles. Karate wrestling gargoyles that like work for him for some fucking reason. The CGI is terrible, by the way, for them. There's a scene where you're in like the 3rd act. And yeah, Christoph Waltz was fucking Van Helsing. Good actor, but waste of him too. He could have, I think, in a way better written movie, he could be a very good Van Helsing, and they just wasted him. And in this 3rd act, the people are trying to invade Dracula's castle, right? Trying to take him out. They are firing cannons while their people are still inside the fucking building. Even though knowing what cannons can do to take down a building, but they're trying to still break in. It's like, what the... It was so comical. It was so... And that's where the karate... And then we get the reveal. They're not just gargoyles. They are kids that that got kidnapped and basically transformed into gargoyles. Because when Dracula's finally killed, the curse is lifted, they're revealed to be like a bunch of kids. Like, what? I was done. This was an absurd plot. I don't know, but this is another one that I can kind of laugh at, especially with the karate gargoyles, because there's scenes where they're fighting like the enemy and they're doing karate moves, even though they're fucking gargoyles. They should be like ripping people apart, but they're doing like karate and wrestling moves. One of them does like a clothesline. It's so fucking stupid. It's like, what the fuck? Like, what am I watching right now? This can't be real. This can't be real territory. Like, it even out like crazy fucking War of the Worlds. I thought that was like, this can't be real. No, this definitely outdoes that. Like, insanity that somehow this got made. And it's not it's only out in the seas right now, but if you see it, like, it's gonna be in theaters supposedly sometime next year. So if more people see it, my god, dude, you're in for like this is like on par with like The Room. It's gonna be that kind of level of bad that it's gonna leave. It's gonna be a movie we're gonna meme, dude. Even the acting just isn't that great. Even from Christoph Waltz, it just felt like he was there just for a paycheck. Like, you could tell with his performance, like, because he's way better in a lot. Even like as Blofeld, he was good. I thought he put a better performance as Blofeld. This is just, he phoned it the fuck in. He did not give a fuck about what he was doing in this movie. Four. I know this is a little high, but this movie, and this one did just come out, but I was very disappointed with this movie, just because a lot of it definitely was because the director, and that is Running Man, directed by Edgar Wright. Like, I was hoping for, this is another one, if I just did straight up disappointing, this would probably be like number 2 on terms of like disappointing, because Edgar Wright, I enjoyed the trailers some of, like, because I saw like 1 or 2 of them, and I was like, okay, this looks like this could be good. And man, it's just, I'm not gonna go in too long because I had just reviewed this, but you wasted Glenn Powell. Movie is tonally all over the place. It wants to be super serious, but then it has like satirical commercials, like obviously, like if you've seen RoboCop, it's like in that style. It just doesn't make any sense. Wait, which one do you want to be? A lot of start and stop, very much start and stop. Like, the movie will kind of get going and then it stops, and it's just because he's laying low, so he's just doing nothing but watching TV. It's like they're not really building the character. It's like such a waste. And I rewatched the original. I just decided not to review it. I'll review it at some other point. I think that's one of, I might review like in the summer. I think that's like a summer film. I think that's why I just figured this is the time of year to review it. But the original Running Man is way better. The Slayers, one, that's just a better name than the Hunters. The Slayers are just a far better name. They actually were unique. Arnold was a good character. Even some of the like side characters who are also being hunted are far more interesting. The world's far more interesting. I actually love the host. He was fucking one of the greats. And the host in this just was there. I felt like he was just there. Like, there's a lot of things, like, Edgar Wright is usually good with that type, especially for that type of character. I feel like he would be perfect, but they didn't. I felt like Edgar Wright was kind of handcuffed. I feel like this was a case of a lot of studio notes, little studio. I don't know about meddling fully, but definitely, I think the notes were kind of the meddling. To the extent, I don't think it was crazy meddling, but definitely there was a lot of noting to where this is what we came up with, and I think that's why I have it a little way high, because this should have been better, especially with who was directing. That's why I'm saying at this point, Edgar Wright maybe just needs to abandon doing like the bigger scale movies and just refocus and do like the smaller scale stuff, kind of like what Guy Ritchie is doing, because I think they're like the perfect kind of, because they kind of he has almost a little similar style too. So I feel like he's better in his niche, and I think that's what Edgar Wright needs to get back to. Not saying go back to doing the Cornetto trilogy straight up, but do those style of movies. Go back to doing those more character-oriented, smaller scale movies. Kind of move away from the bigger studio stuff. I just think after this is what you need to do, because this is his worst movie. Like the title of my review says, it's his worst movie, and it's by far his worst movie. But number 3 is Jurassic World Rebirth. This movie this is the worst Jurassic Park movie. This is the most soulless Jurassic Park film of all of them. This had no soul, no heart. Even Jurassic Park 3 had heart. Dominion had heart. I didn't like it. There was parts I didn't like. I had big issues with it, but at least the legacy characters were there, and there was a little heart there. Like, even down to, like, I was at least okay with the score. The score in this movie, when they, like, were getting to the island and they started playing the score, I was like, fuck off. You didn't earn the music. It just felt like you were just playing it out of obligation, because this is a Jurassic Park movie, so we have to have the music, but there's no soul to it. That's what I mean. Even in Dominion, there was kind of soul to it still. It was just everything else I have more issues with. This just... The fact that you add in this random family that didn't need to be in the movie, you should have just focused on the mercenary group. I don't know why we didn't. And maybe that... The one scene that people love to fucking glaze and act like it's this great fucking scene, the fucking river scene, or the raft scene, that could have been good. But unfortunately, the Rex didn't kill anybody. And it's sad, because I will give... This is probably a positive I'll give this movie. That is probably the best Rex design since, in my opinion, The Lost World. Not counting the original Rex from the first movie, because I do love that design too. But to me, the best Rex design personally is the Buck from Lost World. And I do think the Rex in this movie is the closest to that design. So I will admit, the design is fucking great. And I love how big it is. But you don't actually see it do anything. No one actually gets eaten. None of the family you knew were gonna die. So there's no tension. So when there's no tension, the scene is just happening to me. The fact that you made the raptors a joke, you had it get killed by your stupid Mutadon bullshit, because we had to have more hybrids. The fact that the plot got started by a fucking Snickers wrapper, that is wild to me. I don't know how. And people try to there are people who actually try to defend it and say, oh, but it's chaos. No, dude. There's better ways to show chaos theory than this shit. This isn't Final Destination. Like, I'd honestly even give that a pass if this is Final Destination. You can kind of get away with that there. This is Jurassic Park. That is not chaos theory. Oh my god. It's... Everything's... And it has, like, the shit, like, kind of like Marvel humor, too. It's... The scene on the boat was kind of cool. I did like people were actually getting killed. And not just, like, the bad people. Like, it was actually just random innocent people who were, like, clearly, like, they were good guys with the mercenary group. But they weren't just, like, straight up evil people, though. So that's why I liked that. It was actually nice seeing that change of pace. So I have a couple positives, but, like, that's it. The third act is just atrocious. The D-Rex shouldn't even fucking exist. You could have thrown in another big predator in that third act. That would have worked far better than the fucking D-Rex, who doesn't even do anything. He's in it for like 10 minutes, even though you hyped it up. You made it like this is going to be the big monster of the movie, and you do nothing of it with it. And it doesn't even really have a conclusion, because the Mahershala Ali's character fakes his death, and then he chases it away, and then I guess then they get away on the boat, and then it just walks away. That's kind of it. It doesn't actually do anything. Ugh. This is definitely by far the worst Jurassic Park movie. It's not even close, dude. I think it's worse than Dominion. It's way worse than Jurassic Park 3. Like, I'll watch Jurassic Park 3 a million times before I watch this movie. Because at least Jurassic Park 3 is a Jurassic Park movie. This is not even, like... Jurassic Park 3 at least has a soul. This doesn't have a soul. This is soulless. Like, this is like I think, you know what it was now that I'm thinking about it? This is, like, why I think it's soulless, because I think this is, like, the most corporate out of all the Jurassic films, to me. This feels very corporate. And the fact that they were trying to, pseudo-sell us, and, we're going back to dark, and it's going to have a darker tone, and I even, not necessarily bought into it, but, like, I was thinking, like, maybe there's a chance we might get back into it, because I think that's the real way to save Jurassic, is we need to start going kind of dark again. and stop. But no, they didn't. And then they added in the stupid hybrids that were necessary that don't even end up actually doing anything. And even the Mutadons, they didn't actually do shit. I don't think they have any staying power. They're forgettable. They're just forgettable random monsters that they just run into in the movie. That's it. They don't actually have any staying power. They're nowhere near the Raptors. Even the Indoraptor has more staying power than the Mutadons. And I'm going to be honest, they should have stopped with the hybrids really after the Indominus. I think the Indominus Rex should have been the only hybrid. I don't really like that. I don't really like that the movie really just, even the characters were soulless. Like, at least, granted, I think they lucked out because I'm gonna be real with you, they lucked out because they had Chris Pratt, you know, kind of being his charismatic self, that he kind of carried those 3 movies. Whereas you don't have that in this. ScarJo is she's just there. She's not a real character. Mahershala Ali, good actor, he's just there. Even the guy who's supposed to be the dumb rich dude, which I am kind of done with that character type. I get it's Jurassic Park and that's the theme, but not every character has to be that. The money-hungry corporate guy. It's become overdone at this point. It's become like another check box that you have to have for your Jurassic Park movie. And I don't even think they really even committed to it this time. Because he's not really bad. They try to say he's bad because the daughter character from the family, like the older one, she ends up falling off the boat and he doesn't save her. Or that's what they were trying to go for. But if you watch the movie, it's not like he pushes her off or anything like that. He was already like fallen like back. And he wouldn't have had time. Even if he tried to save her, she would have already fallen. She was already, like, tipping over. So it's like, you're going to have me believe that that's what they were trying to make you like, oh, that's why he's bad. It's so stupid. So anyway, I feel like I've been going on a little long about this movie. It's just because I'm a Jurassic Park fan. And just how soulless this was. And if, be real with you, if number 1 and 2 didn't come out this year, this could be my number 1. This could have an argument for my number 1 of the year, just because how bad this was. And the thing is, Gareth Edwards, on paper, isn't bad for Jurassic. I think he could do a good Jurassic movie, but I don't know if this maybe another case of being noted to death. Like, what if... like, what if the execs... like, even though Dominion made money, it still is like only $1 billion. It didn't make much as Fallen Kingdom and World did. I wonder, I can really believe this, if the studio execs were like, they only thought those movies Dominion didn't do as well because it didn't have a hybrid. There was no hybrid mutant dinosaur in this movie. And they try to, I even got into arguments with people trying to tell me, well, they're mutants, they're not necessarily the same thing as hybrid. No, it's the same shit, dude. It's a super dinosaur. I was okay with the Indominus Rex because it was done well. It was actually a well done antagonist. It was scary, but you should have stopped there. But then you kept going. You kept fucking going. Even in TV, I don't watch this show. I kind of stopped after like a couple episodes. But Camp Cretaceous, there's a hybrid in that. It's like, what the fuck, man? I know it's a cartoon, so I can kind of separate it a little bit. But still, it's like, why? Why? Why do we keep experimenting with this? You keep overdoing it now. But yeah, this Jurassic, you have so much potential, and I think maybe Gareth Edwards, same deal. He got noted to death. I could believe that maybe they were like, they gotta have these certain things and certain things. This, we have to have a kid character, even though that's why I didn't like the family character, because the family in general, because you have to. It clearly means you have to throw. It was a forced, lazy way to have a kid character. When I saw that in the trailer, I was like, oh. I was hoping it was just gonna be the mercenary group. I want an all adult Jurassic movie. That's actually the one thing, even though I have my issues with Modern Alien and Predator, that is the one thing I will give those franchises. They don't throw in kid characters. They know you want to watch a bunch of adults. That's what makes those movies work. And I kind of want that with Jurassic. I think we've gone past feeling the need to have a kid character. Maybe every now and then. Or you have like Camp Cretaceous that. And I don't know how many kids watch that, but just you have those shows, or Chaos Theory, which is the newer one. You have that shit. Why can't we let the adults have Jurassic? You don't have to throw in a kid character. It's another thing that I feel like it's a checkbox you gotta have for a Jurassic film now. And I feel like that's all this movie was. It was like ChatGPT Jurassic Park. That's kind of a theme, by the way, of why a lot of these movies are my worst of the year. A lot of the plots feel like ChatGPT made it up, and they just did it from what ChatGPT said. They didn't even take, like, maybe like ChatGPT could have been like a little bit of like a blueprint, but then you work around it, change certain things, and still have that creative edge. They didn't even do that. This is clearly, they just took what ChatGPT gave them and just put it in the movie. So, anyways, I'm gonna kind of move on now, because I will probably be on my number one along, though, so I will spoil that part. But number two, this is one I watched with a group of friends too. Springsteen. I'm not gonna spend long on this. It was not good. It was boring as fuck. Legit, nothing happens. It is just him moping around. And I like Jeremy Allen White. I've seen him in a couple of things. I think he's a decent actor. But man, he is just there to mope around in different fucking scenes. Him at a diner, him at his house, him at this place, him at this place, moping. It's just fucking dumb. I was just bored out of my fucking mind. I was just mind blown that this is an hour and 40-minute movie, but it feels like 3 fucking hours. It feels like 3 hours. Like, it legit felt like I was watching this for 3 hours, but it was only an hour 40. It is the longest hour and 40-minute movie ever made. It is so fucking shit. It is just a bunch of nothing. Like, the Bob Dylan movie was much better than this. I feel like it was even handling kind of similar themes, but it does it way better. And I feel like stuff actually happens and you can actually appreciate the performance. I can't appreciate the performance because it's just a bunch of nothing. There's no hook, and maybe this shouldn't have been made because maybe Bruce Springsteen's life is just not that interesting enough for a biopic. You know, there's certain artists that just their life's not interesting and they just don't need a biopic made about them, you know? Like, I don't know. I feel like they just did it just to do it, you know? There was no, I think that's the other thing. There was no heart to this movie, strangely enough. It was like a phony, this movie acts like it has heart. It definitely feels like they want to make you think, oh, we have heart. No, there isn't. There's no heart to this movie. Because I feel like when you just have a bunch of nothing happening and just seeing this dude mope around just so he could sit on his... I'm not kidding you. There's a scene where it ends on him sitting on his dad's lap. Because his dad is just, like, abusive and he finally, like, reconciles with his dad. I think that's what it's supposed to be. But it does not hit at all. I just started laughing and just how ridiculous. Why is he sitting on his... It was so on his dad's lap. It was like, what the fuck is going on? I don't think maybe a biopic shouldn't have been made about him. I honestly think that's what I'm getting at. They didn't need him. We didn't need a Bruce Springsteen biopic. There's so many biopics out there you could have probably done. that are more interesting than this. If this is what we ended up getting, because this was just shit. And it's barely any music in it too, by the way. It's like the fact that it's supposed to be about a musician and there's barely any actual music is kind of wild. Yeah. This didn't need to exist. This could easily have been left on the cutting room floor. We didn't need this shit. This didn't need to exist. Fuck this shit. But you know my number one. This is probably my most hated movie of the year. I already know I go off about this movie just even randomly sometimes. Superman. James Gunn's Superman. This movie, where do I start, man? James Gunn was not the right pick for Superman. And I knew it. And this isn't just because I'm some James Gunn hater. I like some of his stuff. But I feel like he's better in his own corner. He should have just did a Justice Gang show or some bullshit like that. I don't know. Even keep doing your bullshit with Peacemaker. I just won't watch it. But just do your bullshit with Peacemaker. Stop trying to do Superman. You're not the guy for it. And I fucking knew it. Because you cannot take shit seriously. And I only think he got away with Guardians because, one, partially that's his baby. So I think he does try a bit more with that. That's why, because that's his baby. Whereas Superman is not his, so I don't think he cares as much. So he just gunnifies everything, and that's what this was. That is the epitome of what's wrong with this movie. It is gunnified. The fact that the villain, you have Ultraman, who, the whole concept of Ultraman is just dumb. Why are we even taking the name of Ultraman, who's part of the crime syndicate, who's an evil Superman, who you could have actually used in a later story, but now I know you just had to. He's basically Bizarro. I don't know why you just didn't do Bizarro. That makes no sense to me. You could have just did Bizarro, but for some reason we had to do Ultraman. And some justifications I've seen were like, oh, maybe he'll be Bizarro later. Why? You had Bizarro. He's basically fucking Bizarro. And then you have the whole dumb video game controls. Hey, press X, like, oh. Like the press X fucking control shit. You're telling me Lex Luthor can talk faster than Superman moving? That's bullshit. That was dumb. Fucking David Cornsweet, it's not his fault, but he had nothing to work with. And sorry about that fucking asshole on a motorcycle. But it's just the fight scenes were ridiculous. It was mostly adjusted. When Mr. Terrific's the best thing coming out of a Superman movie, that is not a good sign. And even that scene, that's a scene straight out of Guardians. It just was out of place in a Superman movie. The Justice Gang didn't even need to be in the fucking movie. Nicholas Hoult, I felt like was wasted as Lex. I felt like, and if you watch Peacemaker, he's completely ruined because there's a scene he's talking about like orgies and butt sex and shit. It was like, what the fuck? I'm not kidding you, by the way. There are lines about that. That's out there. So it's like, we have already ruined this. And it's not even in this movie, though. The scene with the Russian roulette, which a lot of people try to act like it's a good scene. That is so out of character for Lex. He would not do that. That's more of a Joker thing. I could see Joker doing that, not fucking Lex. It was the fact that there's a scene where you have Superman where there's like this fucking monster thing, giant eyeball thing that the Justice Gang had to fight, and Superman is like, oh, the Justice Gang can handle. Like, what the fuck? Superman would not say that. Even if the Justice Gang were there, Superman would be like, I'm gonna handle this. That whole interview scene is just painful to watch. That's probably the worst scene of the year. If I'm just picking a single scene, it is probably that one. That one is just grating to listen to. Having to watch that twice is just bad. The fact you have a Superman who gets his ass kicked for majority of the fucking film is unacceptable to me. I'm okay with him needing help every now and then, but when he constantly just gets his ass beat, and people think that's exaggerated. No, a lot of the movie, he gets his ass kicked, and people try to justify it. No. I'm not saying Superman needs, like, if you, even in Man of Steel, he's not fucking just beasting through all his fights. He gets beat up. He takes a beating in that movie. Y'all are acting like Henry Cavill didn't just take a beating in Man of Steel, or even in BVS where he got beat up by Batman. So fuck off. Like, it's not like he was impervious and was just, like, fucking in, like, soup perfect. I don't get it, man. The Kents were done terribly. There's like so much wrong with this movie. And it's part of, in my opinion, it's one of the worst DC films. I honestly think it fits right in with that. If you remember the tail end of the DCU, those really, like Shazam 2, Black Adam, Blue Beetle, all those really bad, The Flash, this fits right in with those fucking movies. Because it's just as shit as those. And it's the worst Superman movie by far. Even worse than Superman 3 and 4. And I guess on a technical level, this is better than those, but on at least those have Christopher Reeve, and there's actual Superman moments. You don't even have that in this movie. It doesn't have an iconic score. The score is just a redone version of the Donner thing, which I think is stupid, because they had to placate as much as I love Richard Donner's Superman and Christopher Reeve, but some of those Donner fanboys do piss me off a little bit, because this is basically what y'all wanted, and some of the same people don't even like the movie. I'm like, fuck off, man. You're kind of why we have this kind of movie. That's why the theme, they didn't change it, because whatever you think of Man of Steel, it had a fucking unique theme that's going to be remembered. The theme in this movie is just a redone version of the Donner thing, which I'll just listen to the Donner thing. I don't need to listen to basically the cheap version of it. Superman is just, yeah, it's one of the worst comic book films. I hate this movie. I despise it, like, with every fiber of my being. It is not good. So, but anyways, guys, I'm gonna get ready to wrap the video here. Subscribe to Pin Down Podcast. We didn't go live this weekend. Just there wasn't really anything to talk about, but we should be live. I don't know if we'll be live Monday for Raw. We haven't really talked about that yet. So, if not Monday, we'll definitely be live for Thanksgiving. So, but anyways, guys, I'm gonna wrap it here. But yeah, Superman is the worst of the year. It's by far the worst of the year. I don't think I have anything closer to that. So, but anyways, guys. I'll do you later. Talk to y'all later. Peace.